Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Common Council of the City of Huntington for August 25th, 2026. Prior to the business meeting this evening, we'll have an invocation led by Reverend Chris Lance from Evangelical United Methodist Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Christy McElhaney. Those who wish to participate in one or both may rise at this time.
Let us pray. Gracious God, you are the granter of wisdom and the source of our courage and strength. We've gathered in this place to conduct the business of our city and all the work and effort that goes with it. We come to this place today with grateful hearts for the gift of community and the privilege of serving one another. Grant us your wisdom to guide the decisions made in this room, that they may bring peace, justice, and flourishing to all who call our city home. In times like these, when compassion and moral courage seem to be in short supply all around, we implore our leaders to be doubly committed to the common good and human decency. May they keep in their hearts the words of John Wesley, "Do no harm, do good, and stay in love with you, O God." Amid our conversations and topics, keep our ears open so that our hearts and minds may hear our neighbors' words and their hearts. Help us to speak words of peace and grace, acknowledging each other's humanity no matter our position, no matter the topics at hand. Bless our city, bless its leaders, and bless its people, that together we may build a place of hope, grace, safety, and opportunity. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And at this time, we will call the business meeting to order, beginning with a roll call. Christy?
Buggum.
Present.
Chapman.
Present.
Felton.
Here.
Funk. Johnson.
Here.
Pike.
Present.
Rensberger.
Present.
Thank you. And having established a quorum for the conducting of city business, we will begin moving along the agenda. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing for additional appropriation of opioid settlement funds, Ordinance 11C26. We'll now open the floor to any members of the public who wish to address council regarding the opioid settlement funds. Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we will close the public hearing regarding opioid settlement funds, and we'll move along on the agenda to consideration of the public hearing for Ordinance 12C26, an alley vacation in the city of Huntington. Any members of the public here to address council regarding the proposed alley vacation may step up at this time to the podium and the microphone. Welcome, and if you could state your name and address for the public record, please.
I'm talking for Julie Thompson, and her address is 1006 North Broadway. 1006
North Broadway?
Yes.
And, sir, we understand you're speaking on her behalf. Could you also share your name and address for the public record as well?
My name is Scott Tyree, and I live in Marion. It's 1509 West 13th Street.
Okay, thank you for being here on behalf of our neighbor to help her with speaking to council this evening. So please share with council. You have 2 to 3 minutes to share with council your thoughts on the matter of the alley vacation or any questions pertaining to it.
Okay, the only problem we have with this is there's nowhere to park in front of her house. We have rummage sales there. We have family get-togethers there. And a lot of the times they have to park in the back, in the alley. And then when they leave, they can just go straight through. Now they won't be able to if this is allowed to be vacated. There's nowhere in the front to park. It's on Broadway. Their driveway is full. People would have to park across the street at Lake Claire, and then they have to walk across Broadway. And I don't think that's going to be very safe.
Okay. All right, so as I understood, just to make sure I heard things correctly, the concern is that because of the location on North Broadway, there's no street parking in front of the house, and access to the property from the rear for any guests, including family members, is necessary through the alley. Otherwise, they would be required to park across the street and cross Broadway. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, if they vacate it, like her mom and dad, they're older people, her grandma's older, and that's gonna put them having to back out the alley, onto Roscoe. Right, instead of going straight through, okay, there's also a lot of the little kids in that area that's not our concern, but just so that you understand, they ride their bikes between there because their parents don't want them riding them on Broadway.
Okay.
But
Okay.
those are our concerns.
All right. Thank you. Council members, any follow-up questions or clarifying questions? Of course, you'll be deliberating on this later once we have the actual ordinance. Okay. All right. Thank you both for being here this evening. Any other members of the public here to address council on the alley vacation ordinance 12C26? Okay, not seeing or hearing any at this time, we will close the public hearing on ordinance 12C26 and move along on the agenda to consideration of the August 11th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to bring those to the floor for consideration and adoption as submitted?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and second. Further discussion considering the August 11th regular meeting minutes? Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of adoption of the minutes as submitted. Christie?
Chapman?
Yes.
Felton?
Yes.
Funk? Johnson?
Yes.
Pike?
Yes.
Rensberger?
Yes.
Brottigam.
Yes.
Thank you. And we also have minutes from the executive session for consideration this evening. Is there a motion to bring those to the floor as submitted for adoption and receipt?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second regarding the August 11th, 2026 executive session minutes. Any further discussion or consideration? Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of approval of the minutes as submitted. Christie?
Felton?
Yes.
Funk? Johnson?
Yes.
Pike?
Yes.
Rensberger?
Yes.
Brottigam.
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along to reports from committees, boards, or commissions. Charlie?
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Paul?
Nothing here.
Dwight?
Nothing this evening.
PJ?
Nothing tonight.
Todd?
Nothing here.
Andrew?
No, nothing to report.
David? Okay, thank you. Moving along to petitions or comments from citizens. I know that we have one this evening. I'll invite Mr. Kendall Mickley to come up to the podium on behalf of Incipio Devices.
Thank you. Kendall Mickley on behalf of Incipio Devices, address 3650 West, 200 North. Just wanted to do a follow-up. I know we were on our statement of benefits 7-R-23 and 1-R-25 back in May when we filed it. The headcount numbers weren't at the stated goals of 172. Just wanted to let everybody know we have reached that. Mr. Johnson, Troy Johnson, not Todd Johnson, sent a letter to you guys to let you know that, but asked me to follow up as well to give you guys that update. He sincerely appreciates the courtesy given to us, given the situation, and wanted to be fully transparent. We're at about $3.2 million in investment this year on that abatement. So the investments are starting to come now. The projects that we had slated are starting to move, and we're really excited. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Kendall. Next item on the agenda under old business, skate park project update. And so with us this evening, we have some folks who've been working on this project. First up, I want to introduce Christy Connect to share with council a little bit of the process and the efforts the group has been undertaking. And then followed by that, Lucas Jewelret, Meg Friesen, and myself.
Good evening.
So several years ago, the City Council heard the words of a small group of young people who saw the need for a new skate park in our city. They'd drawn up a design, they had done a lot of research, and were willing to do the fundraising for this new park. Much has happened since that time. Less than 2 years ago, the Wheels crew, working in Huntington to elevate and educate local skaters, was formed to promote skating and raise funds for a new park. Late last summer, during Heritage Days Parade, we launched what would become a successful crowdfunding campaign of $50,000, matched by the IHCDA's funds, giving us our first $100,000. Those funds, along with the others we have gained, have been kindly stored at our community foundation. Since that time, we've recorded videos for raising awareness and posting on social media. We've designed a logo and placed it everywhere we could. We've worked with small and large business owners, restaurant and bar owners, held public events like an adoption event and a maker's market. We have painted faces and gone bowling for the cause. Nothing has been beyond our Wheels crew. And even now, with an estimated date that Hunger Skate Park is going to begin construction, we haven't stopped reaching out to businesses or continuing to raise awareness. The community will continue to have opportunities to support this park. We plan to continue collaborating with restaurants and food trucks, holding 1 week and 1 day long fundraising events. We have plans to meet with business owners we know and collaborate with people who know other business owners. The efforts of this small but mighty crew have been admirable since the very beginning. It has been a privilege to work alongside them on this important project. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucas Juliette. I am a lifelong resident of Huntington. I grew up a skater, and I grew up around friends that were also skaters, and I've worked on this project for, several years now. And I've just seen a lot of the youth grow up with us, and it's honestly been a pleasure just seeing all of them come together at the skate park for one common goal of just working together. And just seeing the project progress over the years has been wonderful to see all the kids, all the adults get somewhere to skate. And obviously we've had that skate park for many years now, and we're very excited to start on a new one.
Thank you, Lucas.
Good evening. My name is Meg Friesen. I'm the Director of Behavioral Health and Wellness for our school system here in Huntington. And I just wanted to be a part of tonight because I've been part of this project since the very beginning when we first started bringing together all different youth organizations from our community, YSB, Purdue Extension, the school system, so that we could do something positive for kids. I think as a community, we know that we pour into after-school activities, we pour into sports because we know that those are healthy and positive for kids. And I just wanted us to see this skate park as another sport, as another healthy activity for students. So as they are out in our community doing something that they can center around something really positive. I love the idea of skateboarding because it builds a lot of resilience in our students. So not only is it physically healthy, but it's also mentally healthy. So we have a community of kids coming together to support each other, to take really big risks together, and to learn a new sport. So I just wanted to say thanks for letting me be here, and I'm a huge supporter of the skate park project. Thanks.
Thank you, Meg. Council members, in front of you then, you have two different designs for the skate park, and I'd like to just walk you through a little bit of the history and evolution of the project. So several years ago, and don't go too far, guys, they might have questions for you. So, but several years ago, council was presented with this opportunity from the skating community, and as a result of that green light, we went ahead in what's known as a request for qualifications process and submitted and contacted several groups that design skate parks around the nation. And ours was awarded to Hunger Skate Parks out of Bloomington, Indiana. So we've got an Indiana business that's leading the way on this. You'll notice the more fancy design here is what they've been working with over the last year. They had an initial design, the skaters met with them, and we had probably about 50 skaters and BMXers in the room to give feedback on it. They took that feedback to heart, and they expanded and incorporated some other ideas into this. And that's the pretty fancy set of drawings that you've got there. Now that was a $22,000 52,000 square foot park. And the total all-in number for design, construction, groundwork is 1.3 million on that. Now, they've been very zealous and persistent in their fundraising efforts, but obviously raising the 150,000 they have that so far in cash on hand is significantly short of that. In the meantime, on the city side, we also know we're facing the pressures from SDA 1. And so with the encouragement from Councilman Chapman, I reached out to Hunger Skate Parks and got a concept from them if there was a way for us to stay on track and on schedule, but reduce the size of this and what that would do for the price. And then once I received that information from them, I met with the core leadership of the Wheels team at the library to update them and get their blessing on bringing this updated proposal to you tonight. So Hunger was able to reduce the size of the skate park by about 25% down to 15,500 square feet. So it is still a 50% increase of the current square footage, which is 10,000 square feet. This would be a poured concrete skate park incorporated with design elements unique to Huntington. Elements that remain, you'll notice, are the twin rivers of the Wabash and Little River across the skate park in its design. The steps down into it reflect the quarry to the east, and the bowl itself helps us to, honor some of the Miami with their artistic design elements throughout the park, but then also raising awareness with the Hope campaign we just heard about the last meeting with the 811 number, so that at-risk youth that might be there at the skate park would have that information in front of them if they're feeling vulnerable about their mental health. With the design and a credit to Hunger, this new footprint does use the existing stormwater drainage profile they already had for the expanded park, so there's no additional design costs with this, and it does not slow down the timeline. It brings the construction down to $875,000 with about $33,000 in groundwork, and we already have $90,000 in the design over the previous 2 years on this. So it brings the total price of the park from $1.33 million down to $998,000, which I know is still a significant sum of money, but recall that they have raised $156,000 towards that, and our stretch goal is to get them all the way to $250,000 as we keep working on this. But as I've told council all along, when we have opportunities to use the bonds that were issued for quality of life improvements in our parks and otherwise, I want to bring these back to you with information and a complete picture. But I am asking for your green light for us to move ahead on this and authorize a not to exceed sum from the bonds from the difference of the 998 aside from their fundraising efforts. So that'll bring in, from the bonds, it'll be about $735,000, I think. So at this time, would welcome any questions or concerns from council. Would appreciate your affirmation of their efforts to this point, and we would like clarity to move forward and proceed. It's not a formal appropriation because the bonds are structured in such a way that it is an eligible expenditure already, but again, taking care of our public relationship here and being fully transparent with council and the public, I wanted to bring it back for a green light this evening.
So, compared to the old park, the way it's set up, it looks to me like you actually could probably host competitions and things like that also, that could also help bring in money. Is that part of the plan?
Yes, absolutely. So already with this project, we have started a lot of events. Like Christy mentioned, we had some adoption events. We've hosted a lot of events over the past few summers, some of them having several hundred people in the crowd. And that's something we definitely plan on doing moving forward. Obviously, a more modern and concrete design. It's a lot better for the competitions and really any community event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I applaud you for sharpening your pencil, and it appears as if you've come up with a design that retains a lot of the original elements. It's just a little more compact. You may have lost that flow bowl. It looks like the biggest thing that was sacrificed, but everything else seems to be there in a more compact form. You mentioned events. Do you need bleachers or anything like that? What do you foresee in the future? I mean, You're thinking big? Yes, with Christy there, I'm sure that's how she goes.
We have to think big, absolutely. At this point, I'm expecting we'll have benches and things like that around there. I know of skaters, at least the ones that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, are very flexible, and so bringing their own chairs, bringing their own seating, and sitting on the ground, I think we'll probably be able to figure that out. I'm not sure that needs to be a permanent structure that we need to consider at this point.
Okay.
So I know that they did, the new drawing has space for benches on, I'm not going to say which side it is, but it is on the right side of the drawing, and so we'll have those in there for sure, so.
Well, thank you again.
What sort of plan is there for the upkeep and the maintenance for that for over the years? Is it closed down for the winter? Do you shut it down or whatever? Or just briefly, I was just asking.
So as far as the upkeep and maintenance, obviously, there are a lot of skaters involved, and that's something we want to promote with this project, is to take care of it and keep it clean. Despite the age of our current skate park, there's a lot of skaters that we have involved already with that. And something that we've done with that as well is host events for cleaning specifically. And we've had people show up with leaf blowers and brooms and just anything you can think of to help maintain that park. And that being a concrete structure, it's a lot stronger and resilient to what we've previously had.
Yep. And furthermore, Councilman Pike, two of the things, one, Hunger actually gives us maintenance schedules to follow, especially as it relates to the condition of the artwork that comes with this. But the key thing, really, the biggest threat to concrete is the freeze-thaw effect. And so having a proper drainage plan like they've designed for this is going to be the biggest maintenance item to ensure that water drains where it needs to go. So.
Thank you.
I would definitely like to see this push forward. I know back when I was in high school, everyone that was skating, with your older brother, Paul's one of my longtime best friends, and he was always there taking care of it and, doing the things that he needed to do to help along the way. And I just know that the younger generations are definitely going to grow up with something good and definitely be a good addition to our city to have.
So with the decrease in square footage, I know a couple of things are missing, but is it still a park that you really want and will really enjoy? Or how sad are you about the decrease in square footage?
So we had that meeting with Richard at the library, and it was kind of a group of the core members of the skate park team, and nobody was really disappointed because just from the beginning, before we even knew what we were getting or how big it was going to be, if it was going to be concrete, everyone's just been through the roof thrilled about it. So anything we get is so exciting, and just speaking with Richard about what the design will be, it's still just crazy to think about. In our minds, we're still very excited about it.
Okay.
I think I was more disappointed than they were.
Yeah. Well, I see people out there all the time, so I
Yep.
just want to make sure that those people still come, even though it may not be what they originally wanted, so.
Yep.
I just want to say too, you said, when you were asking, you said something you would still enjoy. So I'm not a skater, and I am so excited about this project just as a community member. If you have a chance to go online and look at the other Hunger skate parks that are in the community around the state of Indiana, these are beautiful pieces of art, like things that people are going to want to hang out around, to bring family members to. So even if you're not a person who skates, it's something that's going to add value to our community. So it's kind of an exciting thing for everyone, not just those that are participating in the sport.
How many of these are there around the state?
I looked at the map the other day, and I'm going to guess somewhere between 18 and 20 that Hunger has done in the state of Indiana. That doesn't mean that that's the only ones. That just means
Right.
the one that Hunger has built.
Okay.
And they range in size. I believe the smallest one was in the 9,000 range, and the largest is over 20 and nearly 30. But they're very rare. Most of them range between 13 and 15, it seemed. It was kind of the average size.
Excellent. Thank you.
Further questions or comments from council members? Okay, so as I noted before, it doesn't necessarily need a formal resolution or anything else, but I would appreciate something to the effect of, yes, you have a green light to keep moving forward on this and get this thing built. So if somebody would make a motion to that effect, that would be helpful for the record.
I'll make that motion to green light this project of the 15,500 square foot skate park.
Second.
I got a motion and second. Further discussion and consideration by council members. Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of the motion. Christie?
Funk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Pike,
Yes.
Rensberger,
Yes.
Brottigam,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Felton.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda under new business is first reading of ordinance 11C26.
Ordinance 11C26. This ordinance, if adopted, would provide additional funding to the opioid fund unrestricted, item 2256-001900, and restricted fund 2257-001900.
Is there a motion to bring ordinance 11C26 to the floor for consideration and adoption on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second regarding ordinance 11C26. Further question or comment from council members? Again, for the benefit of the general public and council, you'll be reminded that the opioid settlement funds received by the city of Huntington, our plan and strategy has been working with the funds received by the county as well as the town of Warren. Those are held at the Community Foundation with a committee closely related to law enforcement and interdiction or addiction recovery treatment throughout our community. And so half of those funds roughly are available for distribution as they come in through that committee's work, and then the city's portion goes into a sunk fund that will continue to spin off smaller amounts in the future through the Community Foundation's investments. So further discussion or consideration of ordinance 11C26?
I would like to say that as this is a bookkeeping item, and it's because we have to appropriate any money that we spend. So we receive the money in, and I can't pay it to Community Foundation to those funds until we appropriate. And I had done a bigger dollar amount 2 years ago, and then we've depleted that appropriation. So now we're bringing this to the floor again.
Thank you, Chrissy. Okay, not seeing or hearing further question or discussion on ordinance 11C26, we'll call the question in favor of approval on first reading.
Johnson,
Yes.
Pike,
Yes.
Rensberger,
Yes.
Brottigam,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Felton.
Yes.
Funk.
And Chrissy, would it be convenient to have suspension of the rules?
Yes, please.
Okay, if council has the appetite for it, entertain a motion to suspend the rules this evening and allow for second and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second for suspension of the rules. Further consideration of the motion? Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of suspension of the rules. Christie?
Pike,
Yes.
Rensberger,
Yes.
Brottigam,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Felton,
Yes.
Funk,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, and with that suspension of the rules, that allows us to bring back ordinance 11C26 for second and final reading. Is there a motion to that effect?
Second.
I have a motion and second for second and final reading of ordinance 11C26. Further discussion and consideration? Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of adoption.
Can you go over this again?
Yes.
Are you talking about the executive order one?
No, this is ordinance 11C26. So this
Got it.
will appropriate $10,000 from the opioid unrestricted
Okay.
fund. Got it?
Gotcha.
Okay,
Sorry.
glad we could clarify. Not hearing any further discussion or consideration, we'll call the question in favor of ordinance 11C26 and adoption on second and final reading. Christie?
Rensberger,
Yes.
Brottigam,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Felton,
Yes.
Funk,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Thank you. Now moving along to ordinance 12C26. Christie?
Ordinance 12C26, this ordinance, if adopted, would vacate an alley right-of-way located north of Roscoe Street, east of Lindley Street, south of Scarlet Blossom Way, and west of Broadway Street, all within the city of Huntington.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor for consideration this evening? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second. So Director Keplinger, I know you're here. If you can give some clarity for council on this, and I know we have the petitioners here to address council on the matter as well.
Can you pull that up, Kevin? Thank you. The request before you tonight is to vacate the 16-foot wide right-of-way. It's an improved alley, as stated, to the west of Broadway, to the north of Roscoe Street. From what I can tell, the petitioners own the properties on the north end there adjacent to that on both sides of the road. That's the extent of what I know about the request. I'm not sure what their plans are for that. I think Christie will update you, but I believe there's some utilities she has not heard from. I believe the gas company has opposition. I know myself, Director Cutress, and Superintendent Bischoff also were not in favor of the vacation for various reasons. So happy to go into those if you want, or whatever your pleasure is.
So that alley, you can actually drive all the way through from Roscoe to, I know it says Broadway on there, but.
Correct. Yeah. For addressing purposes, it's identified as Broadway, but yeah, that
Right.
is fully through.
So that alley, you can drive all the way through
Yeah.
as of right now.
Today.
Okay.
What were your concerns?
So my concerns are kind of three-pronged. One, it's an improved alley. Typically, the vacations that you guys see come to you are alleys that over 100 years haven't been improved. As some of the neighbors indicated tonight, that the Broadway does not allow for on-street parking. I have concerns about creating a dead-end situation. No matter how well the street department signs that, you are eventually going to have an errant vehicle down there. Their options are to, one, back out, or two, drive in the neighbors' yards to turn around. And lastly, and Adam can expand on this, the presence of underground infrastructure, namely a CenterPoint Energy gas main that runs through there. I've seen how Synergy protects its easement rights. If you were to, if they were eventually able to, or willing to consent, they would request that you retain easement rights for them. They would then go through their process to see what, if any, degree of physical closure that they would be comfortable with. Their goals are to protect their assets. So if we're talking about fencing and blockading and things like that, I'm sure CenterPoint's going to have something to say. I don't know if they divulged any of those sort of things to Adam. Sometimes their review and approval process can not only be lengthy, but can be expensive as well.
Further questions for Director Keplinger at this time?
So nobody's signed off on this, is that correct?
Christie can give you the update. That's her department.
Okay, so of the outside utilities, Duke did not respond. CenterPoint, and I send like three. I've been sending them emails back and forth, and no one's responded. CenterPoint had been emailing Adam and said they retained the right of their main. AT&T replied that they would maintain the easement, and MetroNet replied that they don't have anything there, and then Comcast did not reply. So those were the outside utilities, so we didn't really get anything but MetroNet. And then the city utilities said no. For sewer and water, they were opposed to it. Also, street department, Adam and Bryn were all opposed, and police and fire said it didn't really affect them. So they didn't have an opinion. And the property owner just stated that he owned both properties on either side of the alley and would like, He wished to abolish the unnecessary division between his properties to facilitate a more efficient use and development of his property, but he didn't have anything specific,
Okay.
and he's not here.
No, we do have the property
Oh,
owners
they
here.
are
Yep.
here, yes,
So
okay.
Director Kemlinger, if
Sorry.
you want to step aside, and we do want to invite the petitioners forward.
Bowlings,
If
yeah.
you could state your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on the request and what you hope to accomplish.
Yeah, so it's my wife and I. I'm Austin Bowling at 1108 North Broadway Street here in Huntington. We also own the adjacent property, the 1114 North Broadway Street technically. And I'm here tonight to respectfully request the vacation of my half of the right-of-way located between both properties that we own. My goal is to have unfettered access between these two lots and to be able to use and maintain them as one continuous piece of property. I'm specifically requesting that only my portion of the alley be vacated, which is highlighted there in blue, so that my neighbors, Julie Thompson over here, and her husband can continue to have access to and use the remaining portion of the alley, because I know that they have a garage or fence or shed that shares access to there, but I'm not trying to interrupt anything that they have going on. Another reason I'm requesting this is safety. Local children, along with my own 3 boys, frequently ride their bikes and play around the alleys, and there's a particular concern with the blind corner on that north end there, right where the 2 alleyways meet in a T. A lot of the traffic does not slow down or pay close attention when approaching that intersection, creating a potential safety hazard for children and other pedestrians using the area, whether walking or playing on bikes, you name it. I believe vacating my portion would allow me to better control and maintain my property while still preserving the Thompsons' access. I understand that the city needs to consider the access, utilities, neighboring properties, and the public interest, and I'm willing to work with the city to address any concerns. Like Keplinger, if that was your name, sorry, mentioned the utility companies retaining their easement access. I'm not planning on blocking it off fully, just isolating it from everybody. I would like to have safe access from both properties without having to worry about a car flying through and affecting my children or somebody else's children. Whether that be like concrete bollards just to allow pedestrian use only, I am okay with that, and still allow easement access for any utilities that need to maintain their gas lines, sewer lines, internet, whatever. But thank you for your time and considering my requests, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. Thank you.
Is that alleyway paved or stoned or?
It is paved. It is not as up to date as the northern alley that's going through there. That one was recently refinished, probably in the last couple of years, the one running east to west. The one that I'm requesting to vacate is kind of more in disarray. It is an improved like asphalt, but it's probably been years since it was last redone. Okay. There's grass growing through it and it's cracking everywhere. So saying it's improved would be a stretch. So.
And Ms. Thompson, just to make sure I'm aware with the address here, then this is your property, correct? And so you would maintain alley access. Does that address your concern about your family being able to park in the back still? So if council grants it and it's vacated, it sounds like you would not have passage all the way through, but you would have passage back and forth for your property. So.
But is it wide enough to turn around? Or is it just a single lane? That would be the problem. That's your problem, right? You can't turn around unless they go in your yard. Okay.
Further questions or consideration, council members?
Do you guys have any specific plans to build on your other property or anything like that? Like, is there something in
We just
particular in your
recently
mind?
purchased the lot end of July, So right now, probably next 5 years, I have no plans to do anything except for enjoy it with my children. Because now we have a whole extra lot for them to play in, same with our dogs. But mostly for the kids, because we have a fence for the dogs at our own property. But maybe further down the line, but at this time, I have no intentions of building.
We're just cleaning it up.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I guess I'm totally confused. Are there utilities in this area that we want to vacate? Is there a utility right away? And if so, we can't vacate that if the utilities are through there because they couldn't do anything with them anyway, like gas lines, power lines, sewer, water. We can't vacate if I'm not mistaken.
So Director Kempinger can speak to the nuances of it, but if I understand correctly, Dave, we would be able to vacate the right-of-way, but those utilities would all maintain their easement rights, and there would be no ability to build permanent structures across that alley. It would have to remain open for their work as they need to come through, and even fencing or anything else would be taken out at the owner's expense at that point. So, but we technically, as I understand, we do have the authority to vacate. They would maintain their easements. It's a question about whether or not council wants to vacate. So,
I need Bryn come up and go over it one more time.
go ahead, Brent.
So under the vacation statute, utilities with existing infrastructure have the right to retain an easement through there. And so it would, if assuming council vacates it, the gas company is on record. You said AT&T, I think. Somebody else was on record as saying they wanted to retain. I don't know that AT&T necessarily has anything in there, so I don't know if that would apply. I don't believe there's any aerial overhead wires, poles back there, right? Okay. So really only the gas company is the one that has existing infrastructure. So what happens is it goes from a right-of-way right now being regulated and controlled by the city to, if it were to be vacated, the gas company would retain an easement. The gas company would have full say and authority of what happens within their easement. Can you close it? I don't know. Is the gas company going to let you close it? Or can you put up bollards? I don't know. The gas company's call. Are they going to let you put a fence across it? I don't know. That's the gas company's call. The gas company, utilities get increasingly more cumbersome to deal with, these investor-owned utilities. I have worked with folks on fencing across easements in general before, and the gas company takes a very proud stance. We have a blanket letter for fencing, and there's some certain particular conditions, but anything else beyond that, there's an application fee of several $1,000s before they're even going to hear your request, and then they're going to dictate on what they're comfortable with doing. What that looks like, I have no idea. Each particular situation is different.
So what is your recommendation?
For the reasons stated above, I am not in favor of its closure. I can't speak for Superintendent Bischoff or Director Cutress, and Director Cutress is the one who actually spoke with the gas company representatives. I mean, I can appreciate his concerns, but it is an improved alley. There are other neighbors that use it.
It'd be foolish for them to try to do something or build something if it's a gas company easement, correct?
I don't know. I can't speak for what what hoops the gas company is going to provide for them.
Is there a
I have a concern about creating dead-end alleys.
Is there a gas line through there?
Yes, gas line runs north-south from fake Broadway down to Ross.
And you mentioned city utilities too. Is there a water main down through
Adam
there?
says no, so I'm not sure what their objection was.
And there's vehicles driving down there.
I would believe so. I've driven down it.
You're the one.
Huh.
I have a similar concern about creating a dead-end alley. It's probably not a common thing in the city, is it? Isn't that a pretty rare thing?
Not an improved alley that dead ends. There is one over in the London area, Edna Alley, and that has proven to give us our share of problems being a dead end. Snow plowing, road maintenance.
Where's the trash put out in that neighborhood?
Trash is all in the front.
It's all in the front?
On Broadway.
Yep.
We don't do alley trash.
Citywide.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Further questions for Director Keplinger? Thank you.
Yeah.
Further questions for Mr. and Mrs. Bowling?
So your issue is there's cars going through there and you're afraid your kids are gonna get hit by somebody and things like that?
Or any other nearby children that frequently
Yeah.
go east to west, north to south, through all the alleys, yes.
What's the visibility in that alley like? I mean, I know you said right there where it says Broadway, that's a rough little turn or rough visual around there, but throughout the alley and
I
in
mean,
general.
going straight north to south, I mean, you can see all the way down the alley. It does narrow a little bit due to like overgrown vegetation, which recently on our side, we've cleared out about 2 foot of soil to kind of widen it a little bit. But once you get to the north side for sure, to my alley or my like garage parking area, people have to cut through there to actually make that turn. And then to the west, there's like a large tree, very, very large tree and lots of brush right there, which eventually I'll clear it out. But still with the tree there, like you can't really see through there very well. As far as the south side of it, I don't typically myself venture through there, but I'd say it's fairly clear down that way. Yeah.
So just clarifying, you do own this big lot on the left side of the vacant alley?
Yes, sir.
And the vacant one south of your house right there, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Yep.
I was just visualizing.
Yeah, west and east of that entire blue section I own. So.
Okay. Further question or discussion from council?
Yeah, with the utilities running down through there, I'm not sure what,
I'm sympathetic to your concerns. Have we ever put children at play signs on an alley?
May I speak on signage?
Okay.
So going west to east on the Broadway side of the alley, we've reached out to the city prior because we used to have occasionally we still have the problem of 53-foot semi-trailers coming from, I believe, was it Swan Street? They'll make that turn around this double loop, and then they'll actually still manage to go through there, and it got so bad where they're knocking out Metronet, overhead, taking out our stop sign, which the city's replaced. The city has put in signs on both sides that say, no trucks going through there. We still have that issue occasionally. We'll hear them come through, like my security camera will pick them up. Thankfully, we don't have any overhead lines besides my power. It's high enough to where they're not catching it anymore. But that's all I have for the signage. But even with those signs up, we still have semi-trailers coming through there. I don't believe installing signs saying that children are at play are going to affect the common person. I mean, one of the neighbors that drives through there constantly has their child up front on their driver's seat with them driving through there. Like, most people don't generally care. They're going to do what they want to do. But again, that's my opinion, and I mean, I'll respect whatever you guys decide on, but that's my 2 cents on the signage issue. So.
Yeah, I was on Board of Works when we dealt with that issue. Google Maps is the culprit.
Yeah.
Because Google Maps will use alleys.
Yeah, and they don't know, the truckers, they don't know what they're getting
Right,
into.
right. Yeah, they don't know Huntington, and they're just blindly following Google. Not quite blindly, but almost Google Maps. And then they're stuck.
Yes.
Right? They get in there, they can't back out.
Yes.
So they just go on through. So, yeah. But that's not something we can solve, sadly.
Okay, further question or discussion by council members? Okay, at this time, we do have a motion and second regarding ordinance 12C26. We will call the question in favor of the ordinance. Council can vote accordingly to how they see fit. Christie?
Brodigan,
No.
Chapman,
No.
Felton,
No.
Funk, Johnson,
No.
Pike,
No.
Rensberger.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance 12C6 fails. Austin, I want to follow up with you to talk about the speeding concerns out there, and we'll see if we can find another solution to your major concern out there. So, okay. Thank you for bringing the petition this evening. Next item on the agenda is first and final reading of Resolution 11R26. Christie?
Resolution 11R26. This resolution, if adopted, would approve, ratify, and confirm Executive Order Number 6 relating to the city's capital improvement plan.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 11R26 on first and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. So council members, you have a letter from me regarding this. This is related to the executive order that controls how CEDAT spending is utilized on behalf of the city and its taxpayers. One of the primary reasons for the update on this is as we moved forward with the fire station bonds last year, one of the primary funding sources for that is CEDAT. So this acknowledges that and adopts that into this plan, but also just recognizing the pending changes due to SEA 1 and income tax revenue. So in this plan, in 2029, under existing statute, it assumes a 40% reduction in CEDAT revenues coming through to the city. So it does prioritize those bond payments and other essential services around economic development or a few other matters. Of course, that revenue reduction that the state is pushing us towards at this point would require us to increase our own income tax from 1.95 to 2.1 just to get to a 40% reduction. But with this, we do have this plan. It is responsible to continue investments in things such as downtown neighborhood revitalization, regional workforce development, parks, trails, and greenways, miscellaneous contracts with the chamber or other entities, public art opportunities, and as noted before, the fire station bond service and debt service on this. And so happy to answer any questions that council members have regarding the plan or the strategy involved here with potential changes.
I'd like to ask a question. Why do we need all these put together? Why can't we do them as they come up? I mean, this is a lot of, and are these budgets of what you think is going to happen? So if it's not totally spent, then they can use that money for whatever else since it's been approved? Or it just seems like and if this is the way it's always been done, I get it, but it just seems like all this money, if we do this executive order, that all this money is approved, so if something doesn't work out, then you can move something over and kind of do whatever you want. I just want to, and if you could explain it to me better,
Sure. So what council does with this revenue stream is affirm this executive order plan. This is the way it's been historically done. But it doesn't mean that the mayor can just distribute funds without following the guidelines and ordinances of the city. So there are certain thresholds that I have to follow. Anything above $50,000, for instance, has to go through Board of Works. Even a number of things below that go through Board of Works anyway because of the value I put on transparency with folks on where this money goes. So there's still a public appropriation approval process, but council's appropriation occurs at this stage with the plan. So, Mike, anything you would add to that as far as the history or structure of it?
No, the seated structure is about 20 years old at this point, and it has evolved, to say the least. The capital improvement plan, which is the city of Huntington sets it up as an executive order of the mayor, frankly played a huge role in the beginning of the seated process in Indiana. It's less so now because several years after the General Assembly created seated, initially they had a lot of restrictions on what you could use it for. They got over that and said you can use it for any lawful purpose. So in my mind, this capital improvement plan is just a leftover feature of the initial seated plan that they had for the General Assembly. But yeah, it is a plan. Obviously, if the money is not there, it can't be spent regardless of what the numbers say on the plan. Richard mentions that there are provisions for the Board of Public Works to make the determinations on spending it at certain points.
So do we just do it all at once for convenience, or that's just the way it's always been done? I mean, there's 9 projects here, a different amount.
It is to maintain the flexibility of it as opposed to the annual operations budget of the city, where we have a predictability of those services, and that's why they come through the annual appropriations process in addition to state statute requiring it to be structured that way. With these, some of these are set contracts, and yes, they are regularly occurring. Some of these are opportunities that come up, such as the acquiring and underwriting the mortgage for the land that became River Fork West. That was funded out of seeded as an economic development goal for the city of Huntington. All of those contracts and appropriations at that point, because of the scale of it, actually came to council and then also went through Board of Works. So it really depends on the project, on the process forward with it.
The only one I have a problem with is if you put the word miscellaneous on anything, that means you do whatever the heck you want. I mean, HQ, I get that, economic development projects, it's a little bit vague. Downtown neighborhood revitalization, I know where you're going on that. Parks, trails, greenways, yeah, I get that. The annexation, I've heard a little bit about that. But miscellaneous projects, that's $1 million. I don't understand why that's there, unless it's just for freedom to do what you need to do when you need to do it. I'm just asking.
But what the mayor just noted, anything that large is going to come before us anyway.
If it was one-off, but a lot of those are smaller projects,
But if
such
it's
as
one large
$2,000
project.
for Constitution Day. We're not going to bring that annual appropriation back to council every year for that. That's in that line item. A number of years ago, we contracted with the Chamber of Commerce for the city fireworks displays. We now work with the American Legion on that. That's funded out of that. It does become a bit of a catch-all because they don't really fit in the others, and they don't fit in our normal spending. So, but the added piece on this is that council members, with the financials that Christie provides you, you have the detail of how each and every dollar in those funds is spent. So at any point in time, whether it's actually come back all the way to council or it just went through Board of Works approval, council has the opportunity to weigh in on any of those expenditures, as does the general public. I mean, those are public records.
Thank you.
Also, the reason the dollar figures are high is because it's a 5-year plan, and you have to do a 5-year plan and present it to the auditor's office every, so often. And we're only 1 year out from our next 5-year plan. And things have changed, or projects have changed, and so priorities, and that's why the mayor's redoing it now.
And I would just like to thank the mayor he's been spending a lot of time in Indianapolis trying to stay up with the legislature. So that's another reason to kind of look at this now, knowing we're going to look at it again sooner than later, because things are happening in the legislature that we still don't know what's all going to happen in the next few years. So, yeah.
Okay. Further question or discussion? Thank you. With that, then, we'll call the question in favor of the adoption on first and final reading of Resolution 11R26. Christie?
Chapman?
Yes.
Felton?
Yes.
Funk? Johnson?
Yes.
Pike?
Yes.
Rensberger?
Yes.
Brodigan?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along to any miscellaneous items for council this evening. Christie, I noticed you've got budget packets for everyone.
Yes. This is the meeting prior to when the department heads come and talk to you on the September 8th meeting. So I wanted to give you a couple weeks to review the budget worksheets and see if there was any questions. You can contact people ahead of time and get some of those answered if it's anything specific. And then we will present on September 8th. Thank you.
Okay. Any other miscellaneous items for the good of the order? Okay, not seeing or hearing at this time. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Have a great night, everyone.